seconds. From author Brian K. Morris comes an epic tale of armor forged by a god, a hero forged by courage, and an ancient menace poised to re-emerge and threaten our world. Volcana, Rebirth of the Champion, is available on Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
I did it again. Anyway, good evening, everyone. How the heck are you? Only a couple seconds lost there. Anyway, welcome to Clever Title Pending, where we talk about creativity and the business behind it. We've got some great guests tonight, and we hope you'll stick around and pepper them with your questions, and it's a great learning opportunity for everyone. These are three authors who don't do a lot of screen time, and so they're kind of fresh to you. They're different levels of experience, but I think you'll get something out of it. They're really fun people, and we're really looking forward to having them here on the show. We will have them on in just a few minutes after we let you know that we want to thank everyone who's watching, whether it's live or on the rerun. We appreciate you all. If you're watching us on Facebook, please, if you enjoy any part of this video, give it a like. Please share it on your page. It really helps us out. And please like the page you're watching it on, okay? Because that's a little thank you to the people who are hosting us. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube for that superior picture and sound quality, please give us a thumbs up if you enjoy it again. And also, please consider subscribing. It just takes a second, doesn't cost a thing. You can change your mind later. Also, remember, you can ring that bell and be notified of any future appearances we make on this place here, this interwebs thing. Also, we want to thank Plasma Fire Graphics when the look of your book matters to you, because it matters to your readers. And if you want to get them inside that sales funnel with some really beautiful graphics on the cover, wraparound cover, also promotional material, and pretty nifty trailers like the two you saw leading up this show, well, check out PlasmaFireGraphics.com. Jeffrey Hayes is waiting for your call. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. Also, check out their page on Facebook. We are powered by the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And here, take a screenshot of these shows. We've got you covered 7 days a week. All kinds of fun and informative shows. We cover everything from comic books to just general chat, publishing, art, comics, SaaS promotion, cigars, brand new show, Drinking with the Davies, on Friday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern, where they talk about how to imbibe happily. And anyway, thank you, Morgan, for sharing this show. You're a wonderful person. I appreciate you greatly. In fact, why don't you show up on the show later? Hey, why don't we do that? Anyway, also check out the Historical Fencing Guild on Friday. You can learn how to kill each other safely with bladed weapons. We have a page on Facebook. Please check it out, the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. We also want to thank not only Plasma Fire Graphics for sponsoring the show, but also our Patreon supporters, where just $1 a month can get you something. And you can see Works in Progress, our special blog, and download some copies of our books. It's a pretty interesting way to support the creatives in your existence, and we appreciate you greatly. And thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. And if you want to check out what we have to offer, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. That's me, for more information. And We also want to thank Kyle Guthrie for that amazing countdown clock that leads off this show. And without further ado, we're going to unmute everyone here. And through the magic of StreamYard, we are going to let everyone on here. And I am surrounded by 3 very creative, wonderful people who I've been looking forward to this night, probably at least as much as they have. And so we're gonna go around the room here, and we will start with Teresa Dunn, who we have all kinds of creatives here. We look forward to your questions also. Teresa, and we'll go clockwise. So it'll be Teresa, Morgan, and William. And tell everyone who you are, what you do, and why you are so amazing. Teresa, you're up first.
Okay, I'm Teresa Dunn, and I'm a writer, poet, publisher, and I write poems. And these are my books, Poetry Expressions 1 and 2, and you'll love them.
That's pretty simple. And also, you've started an interview show on your profile page on Facebook, have you not?
Yes, I have. The first one went real well. The second one, I had technical difficulties, but hopefully the one Thursday will go off well.
That's right. It's just like football. You keep running the play till you get it right. And now we are joined by an old friend of mine, Straughan Comnick. Please tell everybody how amazing you are.
Oh, I don't know about that, but konbanwa, everybody. That's good evening in Japanese. My name is Morgan Straughan. Oh, I'm an otaku, and I am an YA, and new adult author of paranormal and supernatural works. I currently have 7 books published with Paper Crane Books and my own imprint, What If Publishing, which is for my more mature content. I also do poems and short stories as well. So I've got, I was told to promote my books. So
yes.
So let's see, I got to get the order. Okay, so here's Spirit Vision 1. That's my young adult paranormal mystery series. 2 and 3. I have a wonderful artist who does a manga art style because I love Japanese culture. And then for my more mature new adult, which is 17 plus content, I have my Hunter and Bringer series. There's 2 books in that. And the second one's a doozy. It's like almost 600 pages.
Nice.
What happens when you're in quarantine? But this is about monster hunting, which I really enjoy doing that. And I also have 2 poem short story collections currently out. I have another one coming out this year. I have Sweet Little Dream and Fallen Stardust, which are both also young adult. My new one, Endless Silver Ocean, is going to be new adult, so a little more mature content. And when I am not being an author, by day, I am an elementary teacher, and I am a full-time nerd. I like to cosplay, anime, Dungeons and Dragons, Power Rangers, Pokemon, you name it, I know about it. Yeah, and I love the community, and that's how I've met Brian for the con circuit.
That is true. Very thank you very much for that, Morgan. I'm still, anytime I hear anybody saying Dungeons and Dragons, I get excited because I used to play that quite a bit in my tender years. And we have William Bove, also from the St. Louis area, right? William, can you hear me? Or wait a second, excuse me. I thought there you go. Now you're unmuted. And you're from the Morgan's from the St. Louis area. Teresa's from Eastern Iowa, and you're from the St. Louis area also, aren't you?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. You had yourself muted.
Cool. Oh, okay. Some things froze up. Yeah, I'm near the St. Louis area. I'm actually from St. Charles, which is about 20-25 minutes, depending on traffic from the city.
All right, tell everybody who you are, what you write, and why you're so amazing.
My name is William Andrew Bove, and I write Gothic horror and Gothic romance. I've always had a great love for horror and terror and romanticism my whole life, especially vampires, which is the subject of a trilogy that I have, the Once Upon a Grave trilogy, and I'm currently in the middle of that. And I have another book about empaths, which I've written, which is an introductory book to what empaths are, and it's a nonfiction book. I have 11 anthologies 11 stories in 11 different anthologies. I've written essays and articles and done a few celebrity interviews as well that are going to be published sometime this year.
Excellent, excellent. Now tell people, something else that's interesting about you. Tell people what you do when you're not writing. You're a teacher also.
Yeah, I have taught meditation in the past. It's basic meditation. To do that, you really don't need any kind of a certification unless you're doing a TM, which is Transcendental Meditation, which deals with more interpersonal relaxation and different states of consciousness, which is why you need a license to do it. But my meditation is just mainly breath control and creative visualization to bring calm and peace and serenity to a person's life, to reduce stress and things like that.
Fantastic. That is very, very cool. And now put all four of us on the screen here. And of course, you know me, I'm Brian K. Morris. I'm shy about promoting myself. We're all available on Amazon. Please look up all of our stuff and purchase every bit of it that you can find. So anyway, we also have our audience here. I'm glad to say Mr. Trevor Hawkins was here early. Good evening, all. Good to see you, Trevor. And good to see you, Carl Witzman, who you were fantastic today on TED Talks this morning on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And good evening from Pops Van Sant and the Comics Talk there. And Michaela J. Mwah, good to see you. And Sarah Womack, hello to you. How are you? Somebody brought their fan club. I see somebody else here in the chat that I think you'll be happy to see. And everybody's getting greeted. And Trevor Hawkins loved Michaela's video. She's on every Saturday night on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network on her own channel. Michaela's Tidbits and Scribbles. And Jessica Johnson of Heroes for... Yeah, there we go. Heroes for Kids Con happening July. Vamp, while I look at my schedule. July 17th in Perryville, Missouri at 800 City Park Drive. There are still tables available for that show. Get in touch with Jessica for that. And everyone's saying hello. And Grant Lankard, good to see you here. Steph Spitzy from Facebook. And yeah, there's lots of people. And the Historical Fantasy Guild, Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Just Nicholas Tockert there just released his latest book, a companion to the Simple Sword. It's good reference. And Carleen, good to see you here. Mwah. And Chris Hutchings is here.
That's my mom.
I thought so. This is my new Facebook friend. So she's obviously checking up on your friends and probably finding a lot to disapprove of. But anyway, it's my channel. Good to see you here, Chris. Hope you're having a great evening. And Shaggy Cordy, good to see you. And Jessica Johnson says, and Morgan Straughan Comnick is one of Hero for Kids' amazing volunteers. Cool.
Thanks.
Cool. I'll be setting up there, so we're going to have fun. Yeah, well, excellent. Hi, Morgan, and good to meet you, Morgan, from Nicholas Tockert. And Shaggy Cordy knows where St. Charles is and has family there. And Carleen loves the St. Charles area. And Amy Hale, good to see you. Mwah, Amy. Everybody knows Amy Hale. She has a show also on the network at 8 p.m. And she's going to be interviewing Christian Basil, the legend of the traveling TARDIS, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And Ariana Archeri, publisher, poet, writer, all kinds of wonderful things, podcaster. If it begins with a letter P, she can do it. Good to see Ariana. Mwah. And Comics Talk with Pops and Aunt Teresa wanted to know you are also invited to Monday Madness Ladies Night, the 22nd of March. Ladies, get in touch with Pops Van Sant. I can get you guys a link if you're interested in that. And so, and what have we got here? And Amy too. All right. Or I may go and drag and just go all bosom buddies on y'all. But anyway, and as we get more comments, we'll put them on the screens. But right now, we'd love your questions because one thing I'm getting here is now, William, I know that you are published by somebody else, correct?
Yes, I have two publishers, actually. The first is J. Ellington Ashton Press out of Texas. I mind blanked on that for a second. And the other is Dark Moon Press with Eric Werner out of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, that's only about 2.5 hours from me. And I saw, what was it? One of them, D.A. Roberts is one of the guys there. He's an old buddy of mine.
Oh,
Does
is
the
he
crime
really?
line. Yeah, yeah. It's a
Yeah, he's
small
with
world.
JEA.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, and proud mama there. And anyway, but yeah, like you're published by other people, right, William? And
Hmm.
Morgan said, she's published herself and she's published by others. And I know that Teresa was published by Ariana R. Cherry House Press, and then decided to go the solo route. Now we'll start with you, William. What made you decide to go in with somebody else publishing your work? Did you know about self-publishing? And admittedly, I'm an advocate for it, and I'm not here to, judge anyone because I benefit from both sides of the fence here. But is there a reason why you chose to go pretty much exclusively being published by others rather than trying it yourself?
I heard a lot of stories and, unfortunately, horror stories and tales about self-publishing. And the more I heard, the more intimidated I got by it. And it just seemed to me too much of a risk and too much to lose if things didn't go a certain way. So I felt a lot more comfortable with regular indie publishers, and that's what drew me to it. Essentially, I mean, not knocking anything. There's a lot of great people, a lot of great work through indie publish. I mean, through self publishing, but it's just not for me.
Yeah, there is. No, but no, I get that. I totally get that. Because a lot of people are into more traditional, a lot of writers are into more traditional ways of doing things. And I totally get that. In fact, like I said, I've had stuff published by other publishers myself. And I'm, I think there's something to be said for both sides. Now, what drew you to these two publishers in particular?
I was looking around online many years ago when the internet was sort of prehistoric and new, and I found some publishing chats and some author chats and horror author chats, and I started talking to people, and I just happened to run across a really great and wonderful woman named Kat Denham, and it turned out she ran a publishing company that her father started. And I was talking to her about my work and my love of vampires and literature and poetry and writing and the passion of the written word. And she had me send me some of her stuff, and she ended up really loving it. And she talked to her committee that she had that run the publishing company, and they went crazy over it. They loved it, and she wanted me to send the rest to her, and I finished it up, and I did, and that is the history of that in a short little nutshell.
Very good indeed. And hello to Kathy Jackson. Mwah, good to see you. And Jessica saying, see, this is the networking part here. No, that's very cool. That's very cool. And it's good that you found a publisher that you can work with, because I've heard stories from both self-publishing and from from traditional publishing as well. I guess you just have to keep shopping around and find people you can work with.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
Morgan, let's turn to you. Now,
Okay.
You started out. You don't have a choice, girl. This is my show. Anyway, but no. You now, did you start with traditional publishing and then move into self-publishing, or was it always a mixture of both, or what? How did you get into being published?
I'm currently a hybrid, but I did start with a full company. So I was 19 when I finished my first book. So I was very young, inexperienced. I didn't know anything. So obviously I wanted a company to guide me. And it took me 4 years and 40 rejections to find the company that liked my unique charm, I suppose.
Yes.
And I found someone really wonderful. She was also a geek like myself. So we had that connection. She allowed me to be creative, and she only had 5 authors. We all had similar genres as well, which was really fantastic. Now she decided to go to a book design company a couple years ago, but she pushed me to go to my imprint of What If, and she still is my publisher and helps me with stuff as well. So I'm independent, but I'm also small press. So yeah. I'm quirky and unique, I guess.
And there's nothing wrong with this. This place is a magnet for quirky and unique. You can't spit without hitting someone like that. So, including me. But anyway, and now Teresa. Now, Teresa and I are also old friends. You got into writing your poetry and everything, and you eventually went and offered your work to Cherry House Press. Now, what made you decide to finally publish yourself, Teresa?
Well, mainly I wanted to have things done my way, pretty much just getting it done on time and doing that. I just wanted to do it myself.
That makes
Wanted to
perfect.
know what publishing was like.
Now, has it scared you off any? You've got one book, from someone else. You've got your own book. Has publishing your own book frightened you into wanting somebody else to do it?
No, I'd rather do it myself.
Very cool. Very cool.
Nice.
Now, Morgan, what was the impetus? Aside from your other publisher, what made you? Was it a control thing? I will admit, for me, it was control. Having started out, independent, as my own publisher, and then using that to get work from other, legit publishers. But was it control? What was it that made you go to, self-publish? To publishing your own work?
Honestly, I wanted my publisher to follow her dream of book design, and I didn't want to stand in the way of that. So I still have a contract with her, but again, I have to find my own beta readers now. She still does my editing for my covers. Thank God. I'm terrible with graphics. Bless her soul. She helps me with formatting, and I'm terrible at marketing. So I'm glad I have you in my life, Brian, for that and everything. But she pushed me to do What If publishing because I'm an elementary teacher and I have to talk like Snow White all day long. And I'm an adult. I don't look like it, but I am an adult. So I wanted to write a little more mature book and actually say naughty words sometimes. So that was, I know. So that was really fun to do in a setting that was new to me, like monster lore. And I researched and did weapon research. I really enjoyed it. So I'm glad I'm independent because it's my fault if it didn't work out. But actually it did. It had a great reception, and I'm just so blessed to have people read my stuff.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Now, you mentioned being able to say naughty words. Now, William, being published by somebody else, have you ever had a publisher say you can't do something or try to rein you in somehow?
Not really, no. I've got pretty. I don't have total complete free range, but I've got quite a bit of free range to say what I want and express myself. I mean, it's not going to be like Lady Chatterley's lover kind of stuff, but most publishers I found are pretty open and pretty loosey-goosey about stuff as long as you're not extreme and horrifying about anything. You're pretty good on things.
That's good. That's good. Well, and one thing we probably should have gotten into, but what got you into writing in the first place? It's like, I know we all build up those notebooks full of material long before we realized that wait a minute, somebody might pay us for this stuff. Hold on a second here, and there I go dreaming again that we get paid for writing. But anyway, let's start with Teresa this time. Teresa, tell us about your writer's journey. When did you how did you train yourself to be a poet and an essayist, and when did you realize that this was the lifestyle for you?
Well, actually, it started out as a journaling therapy because I was seeing a counselor for anxiety and a few other things, and I actually seen in a magazine somewhere or that you could actually take your feelings and put them into a poem or your emotions and write it in a poem, and that's what got me started. I started taking my my feelings and things and put it in poetry, and I've actually got hooked onto it and decided to write a couple of books.
There you go. There you go. Now, when did you realize that you could make the leap from just journaling into putting this out before basically laying yourself bare and revealing this to the public, sharing your story with them? When did you realize that you could?
Well, actually, I kind of just had a certain friend that I met on Facebook tell me that I shared something with him, and he decided to tell me that I could write and I should keep writing. And
Hell yeah.
I decided to go ahead and take his word on it and keep writing.
Always trust people who wear fezzes. That's the motto of tonight. Anyway, I take it as me, right?
Yeah.
I
Aw.
I know. Well, I'm kind of encouraging like that. So it's, if I have a failing, let that be it. Now, William, we'll just jump around the room. William, when did you realize, what led you to become a writer, and when did you realize that you could get published with it?
I was 6 years old, and my dad knew very early on that I had a strong and powerful love for horror, and he had a book of Edgar Allan Poe's works and stories and poems, and he sat me down and read Masque of the Red Death to me, and I sat back in spellbound wonderment at Poe's style and use of symbolism and allegory and illustration and mainly symbolism, which is a main love of mine. And everything in me sat up and took notice and said, this is who you are. This is what your life is to be. And as an inner monologue, I spoke back to it. I mean, not to sound crazy, but I spoke back to it and said, how? And it said, let me show you. And so then I began to piece myself together through my childhood and early adulthood into the writer that I am now with the genre that I love. And I have always loved Poe and always stood by Poe and Stephen King and Anne Rice, Lord Byron, and a lot of the Gothic Romantic poets and a lot of other poets and periods and histories through literature. And I started to find and search out horror publishers online, all the ones that I could possibly find. And I ended up seeing this big, huge, massive list of them. And all of them had chats connected to them, which led me to what I told you before about meeting up with Kat, with J. Ellington Ashton Publishing. And it pretty much just went from there.
Excellent. Yeah. Now, same question, Morgan.
Mine's kind of goofy. You guys have beautiful, heartfelt answers.
Oh,
Make it goofy.
Okay. Well, I was blessed with an overactive imagination, as long as I can remember, but I was also a very, very timid child. I couldn't even breathe by people because I thought I was like taking your air. So I was just naturally super timid. So in middle school, we did a unit on poetry, and I realized you can express yourself with written words because I couldn't do it verbally. So I really opened up to poetry that way, and I loved it. And then my freshman year of high school, I had a very over-the-top, charismatic ELA teacher. And he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I loved him. He's fantastic. And he knows how I feel about him because I go to visit his classroom every year to do speaking for his students. And so I was writing one day and he yelled, Straughan! And I about peed my pants because I was like, what am I in trouble for? And he's like, I'm going to put you in the book I'm going to write one day. And I'm like, what is he talking about? Yeah. So I laughed and I felt bad laughing at my teacher because I was a respectable child. And I said, if this man can write a book, why can't I? And before I knew it, I had all these ideas. I started putting them together and I took a creative writing class with him, which was very interesting. And he took my paper and goes, your ideas are great, but your mechanics suck. You can't spell.
Oh, no.
And that lit this fire in me that I'm like, I'm going to prove him wrong. And I did. And now he's one of my biggest fans. We're good friends. And I'm so glad I have a way to express myself and my imagination. So I really enjoy that.
That's fantastic. I love hearing that. And I came from a high school where I had an English teacher that discouraged reading. So,
wow, that's bizarre.
Yeah, it is because like one time, I think it's my sophomore year, I wanted to learn about Shakespeare because of course we've all heard about Shakespeare, and I wanted to get a deeper appreciation. And I was excited that we were going to read Shakespeare, and I'd seen, of course, the movies and stuff, like Romeo and Juliet, a really great version from the late '60s, and he spent the first 20 minutes of the first of 2 weeks complaining that he had to teach Shakespeare.
What?
And seriously. And he was saying, well, I'm only teaching this because the school board's making me. I don't want to do it, but we're going to get through it. So, it's like I turned out this way despite him or to spite him. I'm not real sure which it was, but, everyone has a writing journey. How has yours changed you over the course of your being, developing your chops as a writer, and then, finding, a publishing outlet? How has that changed? How do you think that's changed you? Because, Morgan, you mentioned being shy, which is, a lot of us are introverts, believe, despite all outward evidence sometimes. Yeah. We'll start with William. How has your writing journey changed you?
I was from the very beginning when I was a child, and through many years after, I was very private with it, as like literature and poetry and writing were my escape, and it was an enriching escape, and taught me a great deal that I learned about being human and the best parts of being human and living for them. And this can be found a great deal through philosophy and mythology and through other stories. And it's really interesting how those hidden gems are woven into just common stories. You can find a lot of great things. And up through college, I was like this, and I met a really good friend of mine named Jamie, and she was running an underground magazine on the college campus, and she told me something that changed me for pretty much forever. She said, Andy, if you cannot show someone your writing, your works, how are you ever going to have a writing career? And it just hit me, and she was 1,000% right. So I started forcing myself to show people, anybody, people I knew, strangers, family members, anybody, to get feedback, to get perspectives, to get their interest. And I would say overall, it's letting yourself have the freedom and the joy of being who you are, slowly by slowly, bit by bit.
Very cool. Very cool. Morgan, how about you? How do you think it's changed you?
Well, I found out I'm terrible at marketing. I need a business degree for one. That's been helpful. But honestly, my goal for writing a book was I wanted to prove I could do that for myself. Not to sound selfish. I try to be a good person, but I wanted to prove I could do that. And holding my book for the first time was still one of the most surreal feelings I've ever had in my life. But the thing that changed me is I didn't realize I could actually inspire my students by pursuing my dream of being a writer. I don't know how many times I've had kids or people with conventions come up to me and like, wow, like you inspired me. Like, can I show you these 4 pages I've written? I'm like, well, yeah, absolutely. And I love giving college kids information about publishing or how to write a query letter and stuff like that. So, I mean, honestly, now I write not only for myself, but I write for others as well. And that's amazing that people love the world that I created from this noggin right here. So that's really special.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Teresa, how about you? How has it changed you being published? And basically, Teresa has been very open about her life and her past in her poetry and her essays. How has, your writer's journey changed you, do you think? Kathy? Or excuse me, Teresa? I saw Kathy Jackson here. Hi, Kathy.
Actually, since I've written these poetry books, it's actually brought me out among people. Actually, it's helped people. I've had people come up to me and tell me that they really are surprised because I have opened up, and I'm letting people know how I've felt. And it's actually getting other people to realize that some of their experiences were like my experiences. And actually, I've actually changed a lot. I've been more positive, and it's a lot of fun. I get to meet new people and do networking, and it's fun.
Very good. Very good. And we have some more comments here. Bill Sarden, good to see you, sir. Artwork of Bill Sarden on Facebook. Good evening, everyone. And he's watching us the show on the 40-inch boob tube. Shut up, Christian. It's not what you think. And and Melissa Sifford, hey, everyone. See, we speak autocorrect here, so good to have you here, Marissa. Thank you for tuning in. I take it you have a friend here. And Amy Hale asks, which influential or popular writer do you feel you relate the most to? It could be writing style or subject matter.
Oh, wow.
That's a great question, Amy. Thank you. I'll leave it to a writer to come up with it. Now, I'm going to throw this out. Who wants to go first? Put on the blindfold and wander into the minefield. Who wants to go first to answer this question?
Oh, gosh.
I will.
All right, William, go for it, sir.
Woo!
That is a really hard question, and I agree. That is a very good question. That's an awesome question. I would have to say I'm like maybe a mismatch or a hodgepodge of authors, of the Gothic Romantic authors, I would say. Byron and Shelley and Mary Percy Shelley, Edgar Allan Poe, of course, the American Gothic Romantic author. A little bit of Anne Rice, but not too much. But I would have to say it would be more of a genre for me than any one author. And again, it would be the Gothic Romantic authors in the Gothic Romantic period.
Very, very cool. All right, who wants to go next? What influential or popular author do you feel you relate the most to? Ladies, who wants to go next?
I guess I can go. I personally like to fuse fantasy with modern worlds, so you can kind of relate to a topic. So I really like the works of Rochelle Mead. She does the Vampire Academy series. So I really enjoy those works. She's sassy, but it's got a lot of fun and horror as well. I also like manga a lot, Japanese graphic novels. So my books have been compared to some manga series. The most recent book series I've done has been compared to Maid Sama, which is really fun. My characters, I didn't mean, if I copied, I didn't mean to, but they kind of have that cat and dog dynamic. I like those characters as well. So I guess I would go for the modern supernatural type authors for genre.
That makes sense. And who are your how about you, Teresa?
I have no clue.
You're your own.
No clue.
You just started out and just started writing the stuff, and that was it, right?
Yeah, I've been told that my writing, the way I write, the style of it is a lot like my pastor's wife, my pastor's daughter, who is a songwriter.
Oh, wow.
Who writes Christian music, and I kind of write like her, so I have no clue.
Yeah, and probably once we're off the show for about 10 minutes, then you'll start having this list of names. That's what I get similar questions, and I do the same thing. I tell interviewers right up front, you ask me this in an hour, my list will change.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I relate to a lot of like pulp writers from the 30s to the 50s, as well as like paperback adventure novels of the 70s and spy thrillers from the 60s and all that. So, I think we're all just kind of a blend of everyone we ever read, regardless of genre. Bill Sarden's no apology, sir. It has not been asked yet. Although I think Bill's touched on it a couple times. What was everyone's favorite authors growing up that inspired you in your writing career? Now that's kind of a variation there. It's like, were there any authors that you read them and say, hey, what they're doing, I want to do it too? Did any of you have someone like it? Did you have like a single author or a couple authors that really inspired you to take up the pen too? Teresa?
Maybe.
Well, actually, I did like Edgar Allan Poe, but I also like Vincent Price, which is another, which is the son of Vincent Price, the actor.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we had a chat earlier that we set up in Facebook earlier, and Vincent Price, and of course I just finished an article on Vincent Price, and I'm like, the actor, I forgot that he had a son that wrote. That's true. So, and plus Vincent himself had written several books on art and cooking. So he was a fairly prolific author himself. So, Morgan, how about you? Same question.
I don't really have an author that inspired me to become a writer myself. I actually was a struggling reader when I was little, so which shocks a lot of people because I write. So I didn't get into reading probably till about high school, to be honest. And I found an author named Lorene McDaniel. She writes about teenagers who usually die of terminal illnesses. I know, happy topic. But at the time, my aunt was going through cancer. So it kind of let me see that even in the darkest of times, you can still have hope. And I think that also led me to keep pushing on in my pursuit of finishing Spirit Vision. So I guess in a way, she did inspire me to continue my dream of writing. And she just retired from writing last year officially.
Really?
But, yeah, she did. She did a post on it on her her website. And she's got like 40, 50 books. She's a wonderful quick read author if you don't mind being kind of sad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. I'm just so boggled with the concept that that there's a point where we retire from this. I thought this was I can't cope with that. Anyway, William, how about you? William, you've mentioned several of like the classic horror authors primarily, moving up into the modern era with like King and all. But was there any one of them that tapped you on the shoulder and said, you need to be doing this too?
Kind of away from horror, there was also Maurice Sendak with Where the Wild Things Are, and Michelle Silverstein rather with Where the Sidewalk Ends. Great
choices. And he was also a prolific songwriter and cartoonist.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and one real quick note on Vincent Price in St. Louis in the Del Mar Loop. He has a Star Hall of Fame.
Yes, he does. Ooh. That's true. And also, I'm not going to. This is, I'm here to make you guys look good. There is a book called Biff Bam Eyow from Crazy 8 Press that just came out, and I have an article in there about the 2 episodes of Batman that Vincent Price did as a kid.
Wow.
And
that is so cool.
Yeah, it was. It's like I was telling people in the morning show yesterday. It's like, who else can have a job where you say, well, part of my work today involves watching old episodes of Batman? Because it's
nice.
Just when I start telling people what a rough life this is, then I have to mention something like that, and that goes all out the window. But please pick it up. It's available at Crazy 8 Press on Amazon. In fact, all the people here write down their names because they are also available on Amazon, and you need to own their projects. So, speaking of projects, Carl Witzman, who is an author himself, good work this morning on TED Talks, asks, what is your current or future project? What are you all working on? Do you have just one thing, or are you working on a bunch of things at once? Let's start with Morgan. I think she's looking guilty there. So
I was like, we only can do one thing at a time. I didn't know that was possible.
No more than retirement, girl.
I'm currently finishing a novella, which is more mature in content. It's kind of like a psychological, and it's from the perspective of a male, which is interesting. First time I've ever done that. So I'm excited about that. That should be out pretty soon with my new short story poetry collection. And then from there, I'm going to be starting to write short stories and a fan book for my Hunter and Bringer series at the request of people. So I've never written a fan book before, but I'm excited for that. Got the artwork already from my artist. So that's really exciting. And I've got like 70, 80 other ideas, nothing huge that I'm going to work on eventually.
Modest. At least you'll get them all done next week. Anyway,
I'll try.
In a pig's eye, right? But anyway, Teresa, how about you? What is your current project or upcoming project? Teresa?
Mine? Well, so far it's still writing book number 3 and doing the podcast is my new project, and I kind of got another up my sleeve, but I'm not going to talk about it.
Oh, woman of mystery. I like that. And William, how about yourself? What do you got on your plate coming up?
I am doing a cemetery book and a book of horror poetry, and my second and third books in my Once Upon a Grave trilogy. I'm in the middle of all those right now, and after that, I've been told over the years by quite a few friends that I should do children's books, and I was like, but I'm a horror author, and they were like, well, there are a lot of like scary books for kids. I was like, okay, that's very true. So I came up with an idea about a little zombie girl named Molly Meeps that lives in a kind of like a well-to-do looking neighborhood, and in the middle of it is a cemetery or graveyard, and she has other spooky little supernatural friends that live in the place with her, and she goes on adventures with them that has to do with the graveyard. And
very cool. That sounds awesome, and I love cemeteries myself. So
oh, me too. Oh, thank you.
Oh, definitely. That is very cool. In fact, I want to put in a mention. I've written about this cemetery myself up in the Chicago area in Midlothian, Illinois, off of Route 47, Manheim Road. There is a cemetery up there called Bachelor's Grove. I talk about it constantly on this show.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, and I've had some. Last time I went up there, I had stuff happen to me.
Oh, wow.
Like time slips. Another thing is electronics don't work in various parts of the area. It was an interesting trip, to say the least. And like I tell people, I don't disbelieve. I really don't disbelieve after this last trip. But it's something I'm just saying, from one writer to another, you might want to check out. It's might be worth taking a trip up there. So, and
very cool.
And it does intersect with I-55, which goes out of St. Louis. Yes, I read maps for a hobby. Anyway, we have a question now from Ariana Archeri of Cherry House Press. Good to have you here, Ariana. Excuse me. Teresa, do you see your poetry as possibly being used as a therapy tool for others who have been through similar situations such as you?
Yes, I do. Actually, I've had somebody in my church that they've actually helped. So, yeah, cool. I see it helping other people.
Good. That's awesome.
Oh, that's great. That is super. Bill Sarton would like to know, where do you all want to see your career in 5 years? Looking into, polishing off your crystal ball, people. Where would you like to be in 5 years? Be as realistic or not as you wish. You all are writers, so.
Oh gosh.
I'll go first. Maybe writing my first screenplay. I don't know.
Oh,
really? That is cool. All right, William, Morgan, who's next?
Ladies first.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyway, go ahead, Morgan.
I want to continue writing, going to conventions. Obviously, hoping more people get my books is my realistic goal. My fantasy would be maybe Hunter and Bringer becoming a movie and Chris Evans being the star, because I love Chris Evans.
Oh, there we go. Shoot for the moon, girl. I love it. William, how about you? Yeah, that's true. I did. Yeah, no, that's great. I love hearing that. This makes me happy. William, how about you?
Having my writing career full on and enjoying it and using it to connect with as many people as I can and heal with my voice, unite with my words, which has always been the goal.
Excellent. I like that. Very good. Christian Illusionist Jake, good to see you. Sorry I'm late. Been working a lot for the shows coming up. He is a professional Christian magician. Please hire that man and bring him to a place near you. Trevor Hawkins, who is one of my cover artists, asks, how do you all fuel your creative energy? Everyone knows mine. Anyway, so William, how about you? How do you what keeps you going in this business? Because it can have some obstacles, it can have some hiccups. What keeps you going?
It's always come from within for me. It's always been, to me, it's never been work. It's never a chore. It's never anything like that. It's fun and it's play, and it is my soul's fulfillment. It's everything that I love and everything that I am.
Fantastic. How about you, Morgan?
Oh, that was a beautiful answer, first and foremost. So
that's
that
very
was
Oh,
nice.
thank you.
Damn, you've been working on that.
I love writing very deeply, but unfortunately, I do work full time. So sometimes there's that, dilemma of what you do. And I also do have some autoimmune diseases and such. So sometimes my health kind of renders me from that. But to get back into that, I walk a lot, exercise and music helps fuel my energy. Of course, being with loved ones. And Japanese culture, honestly, just really inspires me. Just the art and the storytelling and the beauty of it. So, yeah.
Fantastic. How about you, Teresa? What keeps you going?
Music and nature and the people around me sometimes.
That's cool. That's very cool. And hey, from Becca Coldgrove, and hey, Brian K. Morris, how are you, my dear friend, darling? Mwah, glad to see you. Hope you are having a wonderful night. Give your mom a hug for me, if you would, please. And here we go. Now, Christian the Illusionist Jake has a question. If you could, would you go to NonCon 6? NonCon is a convention in Southwest Ohio, which might prove an obstacle for you guys, because that's a drive for y'all. Because I'm like 5 hours away from all of you, and that's 4 hours past on the other side of me. But let's expand that. I'd love it if you guys could. But right now we have not had conventions for a year, and I know that all of us have done conventions. We have encountered each other at conventions. How has it been for you this year without conventions? And Morgan mentioned her physical limitations, her autoimmune thing. How important have conventions been to you in their absence? How much have you missed them? How have they affected your business? And what are you waiting for, aside from more of them to pop up? But what are you waiting for as far as conventions go? As the world is opening up, let's say. Teresa, let's start with you.
Well, honestly, I've only been to 2, but I miss going. The networking and meeting other authors. I kind of miss doing that.
Okay. All right. Morgan, how about you?
Okay, well, my heart is broken right now without conventions. I know. I miss them so much. I go to 9 or 10 a year, to be honest, which that's nothing compared to you, I'm sure. But I go for a few different reasons. As a writer, it has affected my business, honestly, because like you told us earlier, if they like you, they might be interested in talking to you and getting your stuff. Yeah, it works, and getting that connection with a future fan that's just something they're never going to forget. And then as an author, I never forget. So I miss that personal connection, honestly. And then I also do cosplay for a charity organization. So I've missed that as well, interacting with the kids and the parents, and helping to raise money for all these wonderful things like St. Jude's, the Heroes for Kids does. And first and foremost, I miss my con family, so much. We're all family. And I know when some of us got together for Cape Con back in the summer, we were all like hugging each other. I know we were supposed to, but we had masks. We were teary-eyed. I mean, it's amazing just how we inspire each other. And I love that we're in such a warm and supportive community. So that's why I want cons to come back really bad.
I hear that. How about you, William?
Well, I've only been to a few very many local ones, Toyman Show, where in fact I met you, Brian.
Exactly, yeah.
And wonderful. Toyman is very, very open, very welcoming, very, very great place. I'm actually going to this year in October, my first big horror con in Fort Wayne, where my other publisher is. It's called DeadCon. It's a huge horror con, and I've never been to a big one before.
Oh, nice. Now, what
and,
do you have the dates on that?
Yes, that is October 15th to the 17th in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Hashtag always promote. Go on, William.
Oh yeah, and my friends have been amazing and instrumental and just incredible, not only in supporting me but also in helping along with social media, in getting me out there in word of mouth, in even promoting me. My friends and my fiance, just completely, unbelievably fantastic.
That's great. That's great. And Historical Fencing Guild, glad to see you here, Nick. And Gang Squid, okay. Thank you, Becca. And let's see, Historical Fencing Guild, which Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central Time on his YouTube channel there. Really great show to learn about weaponry. And Nick has written a couple of books on bladed weapons and such, and fighting with same. And he asked Morgan in particular, what resources did you use for weapons and monsters? What do you look for in your reference materials?
Oh my gosh.
Good question.
I do have a few monsterology type books that I've gotten over the years. My brother was into things like that when he was growing up, and we're close. So I borrowed them, and I did ask. And honestly, I wanted an array of monsters. I have European, I have, Japanese. I have some that are inspired by American creations, depending on terrain. So that's been a lot of fun. One of my favorite things I did was find out where the origin of each monster started, or where we could track it. They could only be killed by a weapon created from that country of origin. So that was really fun to do some research, like what weapon represents each country in a way. That was really fun. I also am friends with a trained samurai. His name is Dan Coughlin. He is fantastic. So he knows all about sharp, shiny, pointy things, as he calls them. And he is a published author as well. His new book's coming out in May. It's kind of like a zombie horror apocalyptic type story, and I'm really proud of him for that.
Damn, that's cool.
Fantastic.
He's amazing, and his wife is also trained as well.
Oh, super.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're great people.
I love this community. I really do. I do. Yeah, it's like, man, we come in with so many diverse sources of information, that you never know when it'll be useful. Becca Colgrove, happy birthday again. Thank you. Mwah. I am still celebrating and rising all the way. King Brian, love you. Love you too, Becca. Mwah. And I'm sorry we're putting off PendCon this year again for the second year in a row, unfortunately, but we understand. Bill Sarton says, William has already touched on this, but what other genres would you be interested in writing besides your current genre? We've got, young adventure, supernatural, we've got the paranormal. We've got poetry and self-help essays. If you had the opportunity and gave yourself permission, what genre would you write in that you haven't already?
Haven't.
Have not.
Have not.
Have not.
I think a children's book would be really fun, personally. I am an elementary teacher, so I read them all the time. But I'd have to find a really good artist, and I write a lot of words, so I'd have to find a way to condense it. I did like doing historical fiction short stories a couple years ago. It's a lot of research and a lot of work. So if I wanted to tackle that as a full project, that might be probably the genre I would pick, is historical fiction.
Okay, William, how about you? What would you do?
Young adult and romance, like maybe historical romance.
Nice. There aren't enough dudes that do that sort of thing. At least, not. There are a lot. There are a number who do. I know of some guys that write romance. In fact, I'm working on a romance novel after I get a couple projects done. But
oh, damn cool.
Yeah, it's I don't know how romantic it's going to be because I'm absolutely soulless. But no, it's good to stretch like that. Teresa, what genre would you write in if it wasn't poetry?
Pretty much romance, maybe.
Romance.
Oh, okay.
Not enough romance in this world. That's why I'm happy to pal around with like Amy and Kathy on here, because they write such great romance books. So, Now here we go. Now Nick Tockard, remember that name, Nicholas Tockard. He's got his books on Amazon as the Historical Fencing Guild. Morgan, as an old school otaku, what anime really influenced you, and what is your favorite? Oh, I'm gonna bollocks this. What is your favorite isekai title? I don't know if I've pronounced that right.
My favorite classic anime, probably, I don't know what you define as classic, but my first anime was Cardcaptor Sakura, which is from the 90s. It's a magical girl anime, you know, lots of cute outfits, magic, romance, lots of cute, really fun stuff. Pokemon was also popular when I was very small, but everybody watched Pokemon, even though that was an anime. So, I think my first exposure to the Japanese culture is actually Power Rangers. Which is, you know, they filmed it in Japan and then they hired actors as well. And I even got my little Power Ranger buddy with me today as well. So,
That's so cute.
But I'll talk anime all day, every day. So, hook me up.
That's fantastic. That's okay. I'm going through a big Ultraman phase right now.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm super getting into Ultraman right now. So I love it. I love that thing. Another thing from my childhood, that was one of my earliest exposures to, you know, that and Godzilla movies were my earliest exposures to that. Ariana Archeri asks, do any of you have a YouTube channel or have thought of starting one to promote your work or do readings, etc.? Now, Morgan has one. I know that because she just picked up 2 subscribers this week.
Yay! Yeah, I do, and you can find it on my website. My website's morganscomnick, all one word.com. My username is SakuraStar07 as well on YouTube, if you can't find that. And I do readings. I made a book trailer on Powtoons. I'm not an artist like Brian by any means, but I tried to make a trailer. But I also do children's book readings as well. I did during quarantine because I missed my students, and I thought that was fun as well. But you can also find readings from all my books on my YouTube as well.
Most excellent. All right. William, do you have any sort of YouTube presence?
No, I don't, but I've thought about it for quite some time, and I was thinking like a really cool or creepy horror show, like featuring horror facts or horror news or making up little skits or something like that.
Oh man, include me in. I'm seriously.
Yeah,
that's exciting. I really think so. And Teresa, you don't, do you? I don't think you do you? Have you thought about it?
Yeah, I have, but I haven't really started doing it. I'm trying to do the other one first.
I mean, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And everyone, if you're watching us on YouTube, on my channel, I appreciate all 468 of you. You are God's own chosen. I've been working at it. Thank you.
Awesome.
So if you're enjoying this show on YouTube, which you should be, please give it a thumbs up and please share it with your friends so they can see all the cool people that you hang out with. All right, these 3 here. And also, please like and share and subscribe if you would, please. That helps us a lot. And cheers, says Becca Colgrove, and be safe, gang. Mwah. Becca, we will. I can't wait for the day I owe you some hugs and I can give them to you. And Ariana Archeri asks, what are some tools that you use to help you get inspiration for your writing or to help get you through those dry periods of writing? Teresa, how about you? What when you just don't feel the inspiration, what tools do you use to get back on the tracks again?
Well, actually, I start reading other books, other people's books, and get some ideas from there, and then just going out and taking a walk, just listen to music. A lot of that stuff is inspiring.
All right, William, how about you?
I've never really had that problem. Not trying to gloat or sound haughty or anything. It's just
do it.
I've always had it. It seems like a living presence in me that's responsible for all the writing and my love for it and everything. And it's always fed me information and spoke to me.
Nice. And how about you, Morgan?
Same thing. Walking, music. I read somewhere that most authors get their best ideas in the shower. So, just kind of when you're not thinking about it, honestly. And a tip another author gave me when I was first starting out was just, if you can't write, just do something, write down an outline, an idea, something, because at least you can edit that. It's better than a blank page.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent advice from all
That
of you.
inspires me at least to do a little something every day when I can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And now some questions are better than others. Bill Sarton wants to know the most important question tonight: who's your favorite doctor from Doctor Who? Moving on, and Christian Drake would like to know, out of all the dinosaurs, which one would you have as a pet and why? Let's go to Becca Colgrove now. Saying, God bless us all. And who's out there, gang? Thank you, Becca. These are my people. And Shaky Corey says, gotta go, guys. Daughter and I are working on some comic projects, and she needs a photo that's on my phone. Andy is a very, very talented artist and editor, and he is working with his two oldest daughters to get them into the art biz, which is very cool.
That's great.
And Christian Delusionist Jake says, I feel you. I work with kids all the time, and they are a blessing. And ladies, please, thank you, Becca. Mwah. I will always have your back. Brian K. Morris, love you. Stay safe and be careful. And tell Cookie I say hi, and I love her too. We both love you too, Becca. Mwah. So glad you were here tonight, and can't wait to see you again. And we just had a comment dump. There we go. That's just so non-StreamYard users know that when we get a lot of comments, occasionally there's like comment, so then I have to figure out where I'm at so I don't miss anyone. But we didn't miss the Historical Fencing Guild. William, I find the mix of meditation studies and horror a fascinating and familiar combination. How do your own more transitional efforts affect your perception of horror? Ooh, that's deep.
That's
for
very
centering
cool.
yourself and considering that horror is all about kind of upsetting the norm. How do you reconcile that?
I would have to say that with a very simple comment that the balance, the foundation for me is when I was a child, I was very afraid of the dark. And one night I got sick of it. And I sat up and I balled up my fist, and I looked into it and I said, come on. And expecting something to come out of it and get me or devour me, gobble me up, and it never happened. And my feelings about the darkness and the night changed, and they grew friendly and protective. And it was like a little gossamer blanket that you wrap yourself in for safety. And that's how it became from then on. It's like a meditative place inside of myself, a peaceful place.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Now, again, given that, a lot of horror writers tap into their fears and the fears of those around them. Do you find that not fearing the darkness is an impediment to bringing out the scarier aspects of your writing, for instance? Or do you think it aids it somehow?
No. I feel it enhances it greatly, because if you befriend the dark and the night, it adds to who you are. It adds to your senses. It adds to your soul, especially if you're geared and made up toward it to embrace it, to love it. It can be something that feeds you a very great deal. It can be a friend. It can be a trusted ally, a confidant, and it's always there for you.
Very cool. Very good. Good answer. That's a very good answer. Christian Illusionist Jake says, missed a lot of shows. It's an honor that he's getting a lot of live shows coming up despite the virus. Well, the vaccine is rolling out, folks. And Becca's putting Bill on notice. Watch out. And Jessica Johnson of Heroes for Kids Con, please get in touch with that lady. Get in touch with Jessica Johnson so you can get a table there, because the proceeds are going to two very, very worthwhile charities, and including your table fee. So please check it out. And Morgan has been introducing us to anime.
Trying.
Good for you. Good for you. And I'm sorry I talked over you, but I do that. I get so excited. And which do you like more, McDonald's or Burger King? Moving on. Sorry, Jake. And how many books? Oh, now this is a dangerous question here. But I'm not going to let anybody plead the fifth here. How many books do you own?
Oh God.
Yeah, and I see at least two of us, three of us actually squirming. William, how about you? How many do you, approximately? I don't expect anybody to get out and count, but ish, how many do you have?
I would say
I haven't counted, but I got a lot of them.
Yep. William, how about you?
I would say several shelves worth, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've got like 4 full bookcases at my house, and 500 of them alone are just graphic novel mangas. So,
Oh wow!
I find that beguiling.
I know. I love books.
That is great.
Me too.
And thank you, Becca Colgrove. I will keep writing the books because you mean the world to me too, hon. Mwah. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it so much. Carl Witzman said one can get a lot of ideas in the shower. This is why writers are some of the cleanest people in the world.
I try.
There we go. And if Christian Basil were here, he'd tell you that being in other people's showers inspires him. But anyway, Bill Starnes asks, Coke or Pepsi? Or Beatles or Stones?
Pepsi.
All right, she's
Nothing
committed.
against soda.
I'm committed. Pepsi. I'll start the
Love
war.
the Beatles.
Okay.
Beatles,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Beatles person
Beatles.
too. And everyone's avoiding the, except for Morgan's the only one with the courage to declare Pepsi. Well, of course, I can see that. It's really dangerous in these times to say, yeah, I'm really into Coke. Yeah, I could get us in all kinds of trouble. Let's see. And Christian listener Jake says, here's a hard question. Is the question always a question if the question is a question? And Becca has some great advice here. That's a good question, Jake. Thank you for asking. I'm questioning my answer to it, though. Anyway, Becca Colgrove says, do not let anyone stop y'all from your dreams. That is perfect advice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Christian Illusionist Jake goes, how much are you willing to spend for your writing career? I think I'm going to take this one because we all spend time that we cannot quantify and we cannot get it back unless you buy a few thousand of our books, which I'm encouraging you all to do. We're all available on Amazon. Look us up. But as far as spending, if you're published by other people, again, it's time, not just in the creation of the work, but sending the work out, learning about your craft, no matter what side you're on. Even self-publishing does not have to be expensive. In fact, I've been blessed that most of the time, unless I hire an artist or hire somebody to do my editing or for me or something, the only thing I really spend are for the physical copies of my books. Now, whereas another person might be spending postage if they're old school on sending their manuscripts out, sending out letters and stuff. But it doesn't have to cost a lot, and I think it's going to vary from person to person. And we got another member of the Morgan fan club here, Kat Gladden.
Hi, Kat.
Hi, Kat. Glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. And Becca Colgrove says, speaking of horror, watch Scream 1 through 4. Somebody's going to have to hold my hand. That's scary stuff. And Chris Hutchings, do we know? Are any of your book characters based on people you know, or are all of them fictional? Now, Teresa writes, hers are based on real people. It's her. But Teresa, do you base a lot of your poetry on others? You do it from different points of view. So maybe I shouldn't answer leading the witness.
I do some of them, yes.
Okay. All right. And Morgan, how about you? Are your characters based on people you know, or did you just make them up out of your head?
Well, the world is full of characters. So honestly, a lot of my characters are based on people in my life, or maybe characters that inspire me in anime, or a fusion of a couple of different people. But of course, I put my own twist depending on what is needed in that world. So, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. William, how about you?
All of mine are fictional, but some friends of mine have requested being inserted into my stories, which I will be doing.
I get that too. Yeah.
My Volcana book was a friend of mine said, put me in your book. I'm like, okay. So she's the heroine's best friend now. So yeah, and also I know how the series is going to end, and she's a part of it, so a good part. So now I'm going to ask a follow up of William and Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever killed anyone in your stories?
Yeah.
Not as of yet, but I've been very much told I should do it.
Okay.
I think you should. And if they even wear a fez, man, I'm coming after you, man.
Want to know something funny, Brian?
I'm ready, yeah.
So my husband didn't want to be in any of my books. So I put him in the latest one, and I killed him, and it was great.
That's
now,
awesome.
does he know? Does he know that you did that?
He knows, and he's still upset he's in the book. He's only in there for a little tiny bit.
Now, when he says "Don't put me in your book any more books," now does that mean you're going to do it again?
Oh, probably, yeah. But he became a symbol in the series, so it was
great.
a good role. It was a good role.
Oh, there you go. I like that. Good for you. And Becca Colgrove is Burger King all the way, and Becca's not revealing anything else. Carleen says several shelves, 5 bookshelves, and evil laugh. Pretenders, she claims. She does have a voluminous library, and she's also an author as well. And Carl Whistler says, wow, we need Cindy in here. Some of these questions. Yeah, Cindy Kemp is our usual interrogator, and she doesn't seem to be here tonight. She also brings jokes to us, too. And is there any... Okay, this is a good follow-up to a question that was asked earlier. Carl Witzman asked, is there any genre or type of writing that you would not do? And I'm getting a grin over there from Morgan, who does not look the least bit guilty.
I'm not really sure, to be honest. There's probably some I'm not as familiar with, so I definitely would have to do some research as well. I do have a little limitation because I do work for the public district, so I have to be careful with what I write. And if I do write something like my new adult, I have to make sure there's lots of warnings for my district and all that as well. So, but honestly, I would be willing to try most genres, even though I might not be good at them. So, like, I respect you write horror. I'm a fraidy cat. I can't. I write about murder, but I can't handle horror. I can't watch it. I can't do anything like that. So, props for you for doing that.
Oh, thank you.
Now, would you do it under a pseudonym?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would if I could write it properly. If I didn't think I was doing it justice, then I probably wouldn't do it. But I would try.
Right.
I would try.
Good answer. Good answer.
Oh, I try.
No, you're doing wonderfully. You passed the audition. William, what about you? Is there a type of writing that you would never even consider doing?
Not really. I think I'd be pretty open to a lot of them because horror is I found is a pretty much a strong backstage pass to a lot of other genres. However, I don't know how good I would be at them, especially certain ones, but I would try.
Very good. And Teresa, what about you? Do you have a type of writing that you would never, ever, ever do?
Writing, I don't like murdering, really. That's something I don't think I would write about, is murdering or killing. Mostly poems and romance, but I won't write about anything about murdering.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And
doesn't mean I wouldn't read it, but I wouldn't write it. I don't.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I said I'm thinking that because, gosh, she's got a lot of my books, and I kill people. But anyway, Becca mocks us with her laughter, and love you back, Becca. Mwah. And Carly, who is Carl's wife, by the way. Not everyone marries another writer and doubles their book count. And let's see here. Christian Jake says, what anime do you like, Morgan? Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, or Pokemon?
Oh, from those three. Okay. Pokemon, classic Yu-Gi-Oh, and then Digimon. But they're all really great.
There we go. And love you. The Rising Tide forever loves on. Mwah. Thank you, Becca. Carly says, Carl, I think I have still think I have them outbooked. And Christian Illusionist Jake, we're not talking about Smokey and the Bandit tonight. Sorry. And Amy Hale says, killing people off in books is great therapy.
Amy gets it.
I've heard that.
It is cathartic, William. Oh, man.
I agree with Amy.
Yeah,
I'm afraid if I write a book about murder, I mean, there are times that I feel like doing that, and I don't think writing something, because somebody might take me seriously.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, I really don't write anything about murdering.
No, I totally get that. Well, fortunately, nobody takes me seriously, so that works out for me. And Christian Illusionist Jake says, I'm not good at the questions. I'm only good at looking handsome in a black sparkly jacket. Okay, everyone's got to have something they're good at. And Carly says, I love killing in my books. You can feel the enthusiasm, It's great.
Oh, yeah.
And Bill... Warner Brothers or Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Yes. An enthusiastic yes. And William from the Historical Fencing Guild, I find your story utterly intriguing as my interactions with the dark were considerably more confrontational. And that, oh my God, they killed him. They killed him in mid-sentence. Holy crap, he's dead. Anyway, yeah, no, that's spooky as hell. No, William does have some real life experience with the paranormal. And Carl Wisman says, time for Carly's medicine again, I see. Rheumatism medicine, just like Granny Clampett. And Trevor Hawkins, why did the author send her daughter to writing camp? She thought it would build character. Thank you. You are our official Cindy Cap of the night. And so anyway, keep them coming, folks. We can take it. I actually did have some other questions of my own here. What is the best review you've ever got, in person or online? Teresa, how about you?
I think most of my reviews are more like from people around me, people in church, and I have gotten a few good reviews on Amazon, but the best review to me is people telling me to my face.
Very cool. Very cool. William, how about you? What is your best review that you've ever gotten?
I actually had a longtime friend of mine, her mother, told me that this concerns my Empath book, which is the only nonfiction book I have to date. She told me it literally changed her life. It brought her new perspective, and it gave her hope and made her completely happy. And I was overwhelmed. I almost had no words. That was my best one.
Oh man. Punch me in the feels, sir. You did. Morgan, how about yourself? What's your best review?
Oh, gosh. Anytime a student comes up and tells me anything, which is fantastic. I've had a few girls, like middle school girls, squeal at conventions when they see me and hug me. They buy books like year after year, probably just because I cosplay, to be honest. But it's really rewarding. And then one year I saw this girl 3 years in a row. And on her 16th birthday, her dad's like, can I hire you to come to her party because you're her favorite author of all time?
Wow.
And
wow.
I was just
incredible.
like, what? Nice. They were nice people and everything, and that was so sweet. I have people who've made me paintings and fan art and presents, and
oh wow,
yeah, everybody's amazing, honestly. So
that is fantastic. And now everyone wants in on the jokes, and then we'll get back to the Historical Fencing Guild. He actually finished his comment. What do you call a blind? How do you call a blind dinosaur? Do you think he saw us? And Trevor Hawkins says, did you hear about the author who used invisible ink? Here's a list of their books. Right there.
Nice.
Anyway. And let's
Wow.
see. Let's go back to Historical Fencing Guild. Thank you for finishing that, Nick. The Historical Fencing Guild would like to know, William, I find your story utterly intriguing as my interactions with the dark were considerably more confrontational. And that
Oh, wow.
defined and established my horror writing and paranormal research.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's
And
very cool.
And like I said, Nicholas Tockert, who is himself a librarian in Earl Park, Indiana, he's had quite a serious, many serious encounters with the paranormal. Bill Sarton has a serious question this time, and probably the only one we'll get out of him. What advice would you give to aspiring authors?
That's great.
William, start us off.
Don't quit. Don't quit and don't stop, and don't ever let anyone make you feel like you don't deserve what you want. It's a movie quote. It's from The Pursuit of Happiness, but it's very true and very vital and very human.
True that. And Morgan, how about yourself?
What I always tell my students is write about what you know and write about what you love. And it's just going to start coming.
Very good.
Nice.
Very good. I like that too. Teresa, how about you? What advice would you give to somebody who wanted to follow in your footsteps?
I would say the same thing that William says. Just start writing, keep writing, and don't let anybody stop you. Write anything and everything.
Very good. Very good.
Cool.
Now, have you ever had somebody that, in the guise of helping you, has given you terrible advice on how to maintain or launch your career as a writer? Have any of you gotten that sort of bad advice that made you say, well, to heck with you, buddy, I'm moving on anyway? Or am I the only one that's gotten that sort of thing?
Oh.
There's a reason why my usual hashtag is fueled by spite. It's like, tell me I can't do it, and guess what I'm doing next. So, but we've all had bumps in the road. Have any of you gotten like advice, or however well intentioned or otherwise, has anyone actually tried to discourage you from following your writing dreams?
I personally think since I started young, I was 14 when I started writing, people didn't believe I was serious about it. So I got a lot of, oh, that's cute, so I guess I did in the end prove them wrong, which was great. I haven't had any bad advice, but I know for a while I was kind of like, well, maybe I am too young to be thinking about this. I'm 32 now. I'm not young anymore, but
get off my lawn. I'm older than all you put together.
You're perfect.
Thank you, darling. Morgan will be back a lot. Anyway, she's like, you can't be like that. But anyway, Teresa or William, did you ever get any sort of pushback like that?
I did in the beginning, I think. Some family members tried to discourage me, but I just kept at it. I didn't listen. And as of now, I think things have changed. So it's better not to listen all the time to people when they give you advice. Sometimes not all advice is good advice.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. William, how about you? Did you get any of that yourself?
Yeah, there was quite a bit of discouragement in the beginning, and was told that, oh, do you know how many writers there are out there? And do you know how many people there are in entertainment and blah, blah, blah. But like the ladies pointed out, you don't stop, you don't quit, you push on through, you have full faith in yourself, and you do it.
That's right. And I think you make an interesting point, that there are a lot of people doing what we do, but there's only one William, there's only one Morgan, there's only one Teresa, and that makes everyone who does this special, as long as you don't give up. And there she is, our darling Sarah. Sarah, I just remember this was Tuesday night. I'm late, derp. Well, you're worth waiting for, Sarah. Glad you're here. And we're getting some some dumb comments, like boxers or briefs. Shut up, Christian. And as I said 2 weeks ago, depends. Anyway, and so you're done for now, maybe. Yeah, we have no faith in that, Bill. And hello to people I don't know yet on the bottom of the panel. Hello, Brian and Teresa. Hello, Sarah. Sarah actually has started her writing career as well. She is working on her first horror novels, plural.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
And
Very
she told me the concept. I will not repeat it, but she told me this concept. I told her, if you don't write it, I will, because it's too good an idea. And she's done some other writing work in the meantime. I want a progress report sometime, Sarah. And here we go. We'll read this one because it's about writing. Trevor Hawkins says, my author friend accidentally glued himself to his own autobiography, but it's his own story and he's sticking to it. That's good. I like that.
That's great.
And Trevor Hawkins is applying for the job of Cindy Kep's stunt double here. CKOEPB.com. Sign up for her newsletter. And we love you too, Becca Colgrove. Mwah, you're a darling. You're the best. Now, what ways do you, we'll talk about promotion here. And of course, something like this is a vehicle. Let's all admit it. I'm not shy about it. But what do you do to promote yourself? What is, we've talked about YouTube earlier. We have limited presences on there, but how do you get the word out about what you do?
Social media.
Social media. So what kind of social media? I know you've got a YouTube, you've got a channel, you've got a personal website. Do you do anything else?
Facebook. I can't do Twitter. It limits how much I can type, and I like to talk when I want to talk. So
you're a writer, duh.
Yeah, exactly. I do a lot of local promoting, honestly, like bookstores, libraries, conventions, things like that as well. Goodreads, also, you can do things for Goodreads as well. I'm honestly not the best at promoting.
We all can do better. Amy Hill leads. Yes, she does, Becca. Thank you, darling. Yay!
Yay, Amy!
She's awesome. Amy is awesome. And also, like I said, Amy has her own show, Creative as Hale. And she's on with Mr. Amy Hale, John, every Thursday nights at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central Time. And this week she is interviewing Christian Basil, who we are attacking in his absence here. That'll teach him for not showing up. And anyway, check out The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. He had another great show tonight. William, what do you do to get the word out about you?
Well, I'm not really too great at marketing either. I'm kind of mediocre at it. I do anything and everything I can. Word of mouth through friends. I'm actually in a local bookstore for the first time. I use Facebook. I have a Facebook page. Oh, thank you guys. I have a Facebook page for my writing, such as it is, and pretty much that. Oh, also I'm on Goodreads and Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, stuff like that. Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. We may have heard of that. Yeah. How about you, Teresa? Teresa, just started her talk show, her interview show, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. # always promote, even other people. And what else do you do to get the word out about your poetry books?
You could use the newspaper, the radio. I've actually used our church. Just people. I promote myself among people. I go out and go among people and try and sell my book that way. Anything, TV, media, networking.
Very good.
There's several ways you can promote yourself.
Very good. Very good. Now, Teresa brings up networking. We all have our tribe. We all have our, people, our contacts and all. And, William and Morgan, you're now part of mine. Deal with it. Anyway, yay. But
awesome.
Tell us about your networks. What kind of people do you, a creative type do you surround yourself with?
I do fellow otakus, honestly, nerds, and I love you all. I mean, it's the most wonderful, diverse community that you can ever believe in. And it's just a unique form of creativity as well, so accepting. So conventions, people, my samurai friend, anybody that likes anything that is classified as nerdy. I love you all.
Coolness. William, what about your network? Who do you surround yourself with?
A lot of my friends, I have a lot of artist friends, both online and in real life. Writers, painters, sculptors, photographers, actors. There's a lot of horror communities that I'm on, literary horror, horror-loving movies, books. There's also I'm a goth person, I'm a goth guy. So there's a couple pages that I have on the goth community and lots of friends there that help me out a lot too.
Very cool. Very cool. Teresa, how about you? Tell me about your network. People because we have, Teresa and I share a lot of friends, but she'll also have people that I don't know. So Teresa, tell us about your network.
I have friends, all kinds of friends. I have just people in my church. Like I said, networking. Getting online, talking to other authors. That's pretty much my way of doing. I mean, I just get out and about, and I've made a lot of friends that way, selling my books.
Excellent.
Cool. Very cool.
Very much so. Now, Sarah has a question here, and this one is the spotlight will now be shown on Morgan. What kind of art do you have behind you, Morgan? Let me give you the whole screen here so you can show it off properly. I've been looking at that this whole time, and it's like a panorama of culture there.
Yeah, girl, I can hook you up. Okay, so behind me, I have autographs of lots of anime voice actors, Power Rangers, just amazing nerdy people. I have back behind me like Ruby, Kingdom Hearts, Funko Pops. I think I have over 200 Funko Pops in my house and about 35 in my classroom. Don't tell my husband, he doesn't know those are there. And then if you did a panorama view, I've got regular books on one side. I got manga on the other. I got a writing desk. I got my computer desk. And then I have anime posters and keychains and buttons just surrounding me behind my computer desk. Takes up the whole wall. I don't like blank walls by any means. There's a Twilight poster back there too, because I'm a Twihard. I'm not ashamed of it. So, I've got fan art all over my house. I also have a lot of prints from my artist, whose name is Cherryuki, Susie Zhang. She does my book covers. She's from Australia. And she's got over like 50,000 DeviantArt followers, something like that. But she is so talented. Yeah, she is so talented. So her art's everywhere at my house too, and she's an amazing person.
That is fantastic. That is, that's entrancing. It really is.
Yeah.
And let's see. Let's get this back. So we're all here. And Trevor Hawkins would like to know: do you have hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not writing? Dive in, folks.
Gosh.
Don't be shy.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I love D&D too.
We need a
game social.
Yeah, game show. There you go.
Very cool. And Teresa, you said what you read?
Reading,
yeah.
walking, watching movies, collecting.
Cool. Now, what do you collect? I know you collect certain things.
I collect Beanie Babies. I've got all kinds of Beanie Babies.
Yay.
That's amazing.
Oh, wow.
Now,
Cool.
I never knew that till this moment. That's cool. And Sarah goes, OMG, Trevor, I thought you asked if they had hobbits. And Carlene explains, don't be silly, Sarah. It's illegal to have hobbits in the States. You have to live down under. It's true. And let's see. And Sarah mocks everyone with her laughter. Only habitual criminals have them, says Trevor Hawkins. I owe you a slap when I see you. And Sarah goes, well, hello there, fellow goth, Mr. Bove. Goths unite. And okay, now, Christian.
Hi, Sarah. Awesome.
Yeah, that's true. You met on one of the earlier shows, didn't you, William? That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And Christian Illusionist Jake has a terrific question here. Now, it's something it's kind of an ongoing theme that we have here of imposter syndrome. The feeling that somebody's going to pull the curtain out from behind you and say, okay, you're done now pretending you are who, that you're a writer, that you're a publisher, that you're a creative person. Do you have this to any degree, and how do you deal with it? William, you look perplexed. Do you have any moments of self-doubt in this?
No, not really, not at all. I don't think I ever really have, except for in the beginning years ago, being really shy about showing people my stuff and getting my stuff out there. But as far as that, that's about it.
And that's a good cure for it, actually. Is getting that feedback and developing your. I see it as developing your emotional armor, so that when somebody does have something to say about it that maybe is questionable, is dubious, you can just like let it roll off your back because you've got nothing to learn from it. So, no, very good. I'm glad to hear that. Teresa, how about you?
I think I have. I'm not really sure. I guess I have, but I've kind of convinced myself I'm not anymore.
Good. How about you, Morgan?
I can't think of a time, honestly, so I'm very blessed with that. Once I got into the world, I just got hooked and I wanted to keep writing. But I work with children again that some days they think I'm actually a Power Ranger. So, I mean, I do get a lot of, wait, you're a real writer? Like a real writer? I'm like, what does that mean, guys?
Yeah. Oh my God. It's just me then. Anyway, Sarah goes, oh, Morgan, shall I send you a jar of silver glitter with Gothic script on it that says Edward Cullen's Ashes?
Oh,
I like person. Carlisle. Give me Carlisle. I don't care. The rest is fine. Just give me Carlisle.
Oh, there we go. And thanks to Morgan from Jessica Johnson and her wonderful artist, Heroes for Kids, has a wonderful set of chibis that represents the characters that volunteer with us. That is
that's cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's way to go. Way to go. And don't forget, that's Heroes for Kids Con, July 17th from 11 to 7 at the Perry Park Center at 800 City Park Drive, Perryville, Missouri, the gateway to Chester, Illinois, the home of Popeye. And so be sure to, yeah, seriously, it is. Contact Jessica Johnson. She still, last I heard, she still has a few tables left, but they are going fast. So please, contact her on Facebook on the Heroes for Kids convention page on Facebook or her personal page, and she'll hook you up. Yes, William. Chester, Illinois is the home of Elsie Seeger, who created Popeye, and many of the characters in Popeye were based on actual residents.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's really cool, Brad.
It is.
Oh, wow.
In fact, look for the Chester, Illinois website. In fact, I wrote an article about a year ago for a magazine called Retro Fan about Chester and the Popeye Picnic. It's an annual celebration of all things Sailor Man. They have statues all around the town that you can visit.
Oh, wow.
It's really a cool place, and the picnic is wonderful. And I got to say, I'm so happy because, yes, I'll brag. It's nationally distributed Retro Fan, and it's the first time I've had something in a physical Barnes and Noble store.
Yay.
Oh, wow.
I was so proud.
Amazing.
And
that's really cool.
Thank you. And then 2 weeks later, the lockdown happened, but it doesn't matter. I'm in there anyway. So let's see here. We got Trevor Hawkins is a Buffy and Angel fan. Nothing wrong with that. And Christian Illusionist Jake says, how do you deal with hecklers in public? Well, I know one way. Anyway, moving on. No, seriously. Thank you, Jake. No, do you ever have people that, now I know Teresa's experience in this is limited, but because she's only done a couple shows, but, you guys, have you ever had untoward contact with the public, shall we call it? Like I've had a little bit of it, like somebody who wants me to publish their book or something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, good. Again, just me. Morgan and you probably had mostly good experiences with the public.
I have had a nasty review online that person was just being a bully, honestly. Not that I can't take criticism, but it was pretty intense. The only heckling I've got before was not for my books, but for a cosplay I did before. Somebody said my outfit wasn't accurate, and they were just kind of bashing it as well. So unfortunately, that does happen, but the community usually is pretty great. So when they got a fact wrong about my character, I didn't get in their face, but I was like, oh, well, actually, in episode blah, 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 this is what happens. And they just kind of looked at me like,
Nice.
So I just you don't have to be rude. You can stand up for yourself, know what you're talking about. So
good work. Yeah. Good work. Now, Sarah has a question here, and I know the term, so I don't know that I should have realized some people don't. Sarah would like to know that what on earth is a chibi?
A chibi,
Sarah, that's a good question.
Yeah, a chibi is an art style, usually in Japanese culture. So what happens is it's a really cute little figure. They got a big head and really cute little eyes. Sometimes they're also called UFO figures as well. So I'm sure you've seen them around. But big head, little body, really cute. That's a chibi.
Yeah, or think Funko Pop with a mouth.
Yeah, Funko Pop with a mouth.
There we go. And Christian Illusionist Jake, you're doing great, buddy. Don't ever stop with the questions. Seriously. Sarah, all things are Sailor Man semen related everywhere in Chester, apparently. Well, that's enough out of Sarah for this time being. I love you, Sarah. And Jessica Johnson says we do have a few spaces left for Heroes for Kids Comic-Con on July 17th of 2021 in Perryville, Missouri. I will be there. I will be there. And Morgan will be there. And William, the call's going out to you, sir.
I'd like to say that I could be there. I hope I can make it.
Check it out. Seriously, keep in touch with me, and I'll put you in touch with Jessica if you're interested.
Okay.
And Sarah says, thank you for the chibi explanation. This is the learning place, Sarah. And
You're
sometimes
welcome.
I learned stuff, too. I didn't know they were called UFO characters. That's interesting.
Sometimes, yeah.
I didn't either.
Yeah. Morgan, is your samurai friend the Samurai Dan?
Yes, he is.
There we go. And Carl Wisman, wow, Sarah brings the chat to a complete halt. Nice. And this is for us. I love you too, Sarah. I really do. You know I do. We have a 7-second delay for obscenities on my end, so it gets a work. And it's awesome. You never get hecklers. When I was the caretaker, I had 8 hecklers per show, says Christian Jake. Well, it's something that we all get pushed back when we put ourselves out in the public. So that will happen, but the rewards are so worth it. And Jessica Johnson says, William, send a message with your email through facebook.com/Heroes for Kids Perryville MO.
Okay.
All right. So I'll leave it up to you to write that down or memorize it, what have you. And again, folks, keep the questions coming. We've got a few more minutes left. And let's see. Actually, we've covered just about everything I had on my list. And we talked about our tribe, the people that support us, but there's probably a blessing for that, Sarah. There probably is. Anyway, who outside of your tribe is a blessing to you? Who helps you, get through the challenges outside of your writing circle or your creative circle? Do you have someone like family or friends that do that for you?
I think everybody, to an extent, can do that for you, to be honest. Everybody you encounter in your life is meant to be in your life for a reason.
There's that. Good point.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And Christian Illusionist Jake says, here's a question for Morgan. Which anime do you like more, Superbook or Gundam?
I don't really watch either, to be honest. I'm sorry. But my husband is a huge fan of Gundam. So because I do love him, I will say Gundam to make him proud.
There we go. After she brutally murdered him in a store. But anyway. And Carl Wisdom says, it's okay, Trevor, I'm off my game tonight. Sarah can do it. There we go. And that's his backup there. So it looks like we've come to an end of the comments here. And we've actually, for once, we're making up for the Bobby Nash episode. We are coming in under 4 hours for this one. So I told these wonderful people about that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to call this an episode, which we do frequently. And Teresa, Morgan, and William, please stick around after the show ends so that we can talk a little more. But anyway, I want to thank our audience. Thank you very much. You had some great questions. I appreciate you all very, very much. And hopefully you'll tune in next week. We'll have information on who that is when we're done here. And so we're going to go around the room and tell everyone who you are and how they can keep up with your work and where they can pick it up. So let's start with author Teresa Dunn. Teresa, tell everybody where they can find your work and what you got going.
You can find both of my books on Amazon, and you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Goodreads, just about everywhere, really. And that's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Teresa. Appreciate you so much. And Morgan, tell everybody where they can find you, how to keep up with you.
Sure. So I have a website, morganscomnick.com, all one word. And I do fun top 10s. I update my books, things. I do guest authors as well. But if you want to purchase my books, you can find them, of course, on Amazon. Here's 3 of the covers right here. I do YA, I keep saying UA, YA New Adult, and poems and short stories. So Amazon, Goodreads, Barnes & Noble, BAM, all those fun places as well. I also do have a Gumroad store, which you can connect through my website.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Good to have you on here. And William Bove, tell everybody what you do and how to keep up with your excellent adventures.
Okay, I'm an author of Gothic horror and Gothic romantic lit. My books can be found on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Goodreads, and in St. Charles, Missouri on Main Street Books. A really wonderful woman named Emily owns it. My books can be found on the upper level upstairs. I also go by Andy Bove, which is a derivation of my middle name Andrew on Facebook. And I have my personal Facebook author page, which it's a work in progress, but I keep it updated regularly. And I have a story on the horrific podcast called Is That My Amber, which that took place recently as a couple days ago.
That's fantastic. Great. Thank you so much, William. So glad you could be on the show. Thank all 3 of you for being here and putting up with me, and had a great time. Hope you did the same. And,
Brian, thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you, and and hopefully we'll you'll get a tap on the shoulder for a future episode too. Oh, so cute. Well,
I'd be glad to come back.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, that's okay. I've got my own too, so my inaction figure. But anyway.
I don't have one of those yet.
Well, that, and also I have a little dragon. It's got the sideburns. It's got the fez, and Cindy Kep made this one for me. So
that's great.
Perfect.
And then I've got my twin. But anyway, so anyway, I'm going to mute you 3 and put you in the background here. And again, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Everyone, please follow these wonderful people's works. They are amazing. And I'm so glad they were here. Thank you all for being here. And we've got some comments. Much love back at you, Christian Illusionist Jake. Glad to see you. And thank you, Carly. Mwah. And Amy Hale says it was great to see you all. Great show. Thank you very much. And no, this isn't that show. Cookie's on her own late at night. But anyway, thanks, Jake, for worrying about me. Thank you, Trevor Hawkins, for everything, for all your questions. Thank you all. Appreciate you so much. And let's see if I can make this work here. Some days I just treat everything like this is the first time I've seen this, but I've got my own promotion here we're going to share here. So anyway, folks, thank you all for watching this show. Currently, I have a show, or not a show, but a brand new book that's coming out, that is out right now. Biff, Bam, Eow, The Subterranean Blue Grotto Guide to Batman 66 Season 2 just came out from Crazy 8 Press, and I'm in there with a whole bunch of really great creators like Jim Beard, Rich Handley, Paul Kupperberg, Bobby Nash, John C. Bruning, Peter David, Keith R.A. Candido, Dan Greenfield, Ed Catto, Teal James Glenn, Bob Greenberger, Greg Cox, Frank Schildender, Michael Jan Friedman, and more. I do an article on the Egghead stories featuring Vincent Price from season 2. It's an examination of the second season of the classic Batman series. Please pick it up right now on Amazon. It is on sale in both paperback and ebook form. And and there I am again. Anyway, let's get that back under control. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Whether you're watching us live and can interact, thank you all for your questions. And if you're watching us on the rerun, we appreciate you too. This show is powered by the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. We have a page on Facebook. Please check it out. We have a lot of great programming. Tomorrow morning, I will be back at 10 a.m. on Nevermind the Furthermore, Creative Conversation and Coffee. And then on Thursday, we've got a packed day with TED Talks, timepieces. Please check that out. And also Comic Book Spectrum with myself, Eric Hawkins, Clyde Hall, and Brian Rahman. We're going to be doing some reviews and a little bit of conversation about comics past, present, and future. Then at 8 p.m., Creative as Hale with Amy Hale and her husband John talking to Christian Basil of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. That will be lively. And then at 9 p.m., join the conversation at Stupid O'Clock with Joe Dog McKeel and the Stupid After Show that follows. So please check that out. Please go to the Rising Tide Broadcast Network page on Facebook, and please follow that page. Give it a like so you'll be notified of all our stuff. We also want to thank our Patreon subscribers. Without them, this show could not go on. They have supported us not just emotionally, but also with some funding that has been used to improve the look and sound of this show. So please consider becoming a patron of mine at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. All one word, all lowercase. You can get access to my weekly or more blog, as well as information on where I'm going to be appearing, advanced looks at works in progress, downloadable books, all kinds of cool stuff, even the first chapter of my upcoming audiobook, A Santa Sign. So please check it out. Also, thank you to everyone watching on Facebook, no matter where it is, Kathy Jackson's books or the Rising Tide Publications page or the Rising Tide Broadcasts page. Please, if you've enjoyed any part of this video on these wonderful people that appeared with me, please give this video a like, and also please like the page you're watching it on. That helps them a whole lot. It's a great thank you for them hosting us. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, on the Brian K. Morris Rising Tide Publications page, please give this a thumbs up if you would. Just takes a second, doesn't cost a thing. And please consider subscribing. We've got a whole bunch of people that have subscribed, over 465 people, and we are looking to hopefully break 1,000 before the end of the year, because we want to share this message with a whole lot of people, share the message of the Rising Tide, which, by the way, if you go to YasingTide.pub, that's my website, you can get information on where I'm going to be also, and also you can sign up for my free monthly newsletter. It goes out the first of the month. The next issue will be April 1st, but it won't be April Fool's, I promise. We have all kinds of secret links and motivation, education, and inspiration. Also, thank you to Plasma Fire Graphics for sponsoring this episode. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, it matters to your readers. So check out what Jeffrey Hayes can do for you. And I think that's all the stuff I can talk about right now. We're going to end this show with a couple of spots. But anyway, folks, as always, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Next week, We have a very special show. My friends from Moonlight Films will be joining us. They are an independent filmmaking group out of Southern Indiana. Ian Mayer and some of his friends will be joining us on the program next week. We're going to talk about what it takes to get a movie off the ground, just all kinds of things involved in the filmmaking process. And they also have a YouTube channel. Please check it out, particularly The Legend of Demoniac and Graveyard Stories with Lloyd Kaufman, the director who created The Toxic Avenger. He's in a movie with someone we know, and no, I don't wear a fez. Anyway, I don't even wear a bow tie in that one, but please check it out. They're two great movies, and Ian Mayer will be here with Moonlight Films. I'm really looking forward to that show. It's going to be a fantastic one. We'll see you tomorrow morning on Nevermind the Furthermore, and we'll see you next week on Clever Title Pending. So until then, folks, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome, all right? Have a great night, and we'll see you next week on Clever Title Pending. Take care, everyone.
Southwest of Chicago, there is a small, secluded cemetery known as Bachelor's Grove, and it is one of the most haunted places in the United States. Author Brian K. Morris brings you a collection of writings that will help you navigate this ghostly graveyard, if you dare. The Haunting Scripts of Bachelor's Grove is available now on Amazon.com. Get your copy today.